How's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel. Swear down, I'm late. I ain't late. Few seconds. It is what it is. But love for everyone in here already. Love for everyone that's liked the video already. I see people in the chat. Big up everyone. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's happy, for now with Thomas Partey. Big signing. I think number one target. I think the name that, in my opinion, would have been the one I wanted first and foremost this transfer window moving into it following last season. I've wanted him for years, to be honest. He's someone that fits us to a T in terms of what we need in the middle. And he's also someone that I thought was not within our reach until this summer. I thought it's a bit of a stretch, trying to get someone like that in who's been playing Champions League football at a high level, who's moved into their prime, who's is he captain, vice captain for Ghana? Like he's established. He's a very established player, and to move to us, he must believe in the vision. At the same time, people are saying it's just for the money, but I'm sure Atletico were paying him a decent wage, and I'm sure that he could have moved on to a club that would have paid him pretty much the same, if not more, than he's earning at the club now. So I do believe that Arteta must have gave him the vision, or the club or somebody gave him the vision, and he expects to be back in Champions League football sooner rather than later. Us as fans, I expect the same, but at the same time, I know that bringing just Partey in on the last day and not Aouar, it makes us contenders for top four. It's a stretch. It is a stretch. Obviously, looking at the league now, it's so indifferent. It's going to give us more hope. And by hope, I mean, obviously, if we're looking at Liverpool, just got smashed. Man United just got smashed. Tottenham, okay, they've picked it up recently, but they're a bit indifferent. Chelsea picked it up recently, bit indifferent. Everton, obviously, have been lighting it up. Wolves, okay, they haven't done their thing. Leicester, same. They just got banged by West Ham. The league's looking a bit, especially when we've started out the way we have in winning every game bar the Liverpool one, which was pretty much expected. So obviously our hopes are up, and if you're looking at it now, you're thinking very confident for top four. But at the same time, understand that Liverpool are going to pick it back up. Understand that Man City, I'm sure, will pick it back up. Understand that a couple others will also pick it back up, and the league won't look as messy as it does right now, because it does look very messy, and it is surprising. I do think Everton are not there to stay in terms of number one or top four, but they are a team that I feel we need to worry about, and the fellow top four contenders need to worry about too, because they didn't make those signings not to make top four. They didn't bring Ancelotti in not to make top four, and I'm sure the minimum Ancelotti wants of them this season is top four. And he's a very good manager, very established, good man, motivator, good tactician. He's all round one of the best managers in the league. So Everton are going to be man said, anyone got Jaloff? Trust me, could do with some of that right now. So people just got a message. I thought it was some important news or something, the way it flashed up, but it is what it is. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling the same. I'm still happy. Obviously, I've been looking through the Partey news and reading up on him. Well, not reading up on him, because I've been a fan of his for years. I've been a fan of Simeone and Atletico in terms of not how they've played per se, but the way they've played. And by that, I mean 100% effort, tactical nous, organization, structure, and they've done it against the very best, and nearly hit the pinnacle with the Champions League, but they've done very well to win La Liga. Obviously, however many years ago, with Messi and Ronaldo still in the league. So I've been watching them for a little while now, and Partey really is the all-round midfielder. A lot of people tend to think DM. I don't know what to call him, because he can be DM, he can do DM, he can be CM, he can do CM, he can be box to box, he can do box to box. So in reality, he is all round. The only place you're not going to play him in that midfield is in front of the two, because in reality he works best from that pivot, and it's something we've been starved of for so many years, that I can't wait to see him in action. I can't wait for the fans. I think he'll have a similar impact to how, in my eyes, Tierney should have opened the fan base's eyes in terms of quality and the standards we should expect from a defensive player. Gabriel has come in and he's pretty much doing the same. But in terms of, we've seen Tierney for over a year now, we know the mentality Tierney brings as well as the quality. So similar to that, I think Partey will do the same in the middle. We've lacked quality for so long in the middle that I think Partey coming in, it will be such a a game changer in terms of even opening the fan base's eyes and understanding that this is the quality we need around the side. You know, it's all good and well putting one individual there, but if you don't fill the team with like-minded characters, like-minded mentalities, like-minded quality, alike qualities, then in reality, you're not really going to go nowhere. I still get this question till this day, you know, 2 years into doing this thing, but of course I'm Turkish. I would pull my sleeve up now to show the tattoo too, but it is what it is, man. Of course I'm Turkish. Let me see what the people are saying. There's bare people in the chat, over 200 people in the live. Make sure you hit the like button, people, if you haven't already. Because our 6 says, what do you think if we go for Cantwell? He's an Arsenal fan. I think he's a good young player. I think he'd be an upgrade on, let's say, a Joe Willock, in my opinion. And would it be the right type of upgrade in terms of what we want? And I know you're asking me that question in terms of what we want. At the moment, upgrading Joe Willock is not really on the priority list, considering Joe Willock is not really going to be first team in terms of, you know, in my opinion, with Partey coming in, it's just pushed him further behind. And as poor as our midfield is, you might see him sometimes, but we'll see who does partner Partey. But Buendia, on the other hand, Ben Rama, on the other hand, let me know, people, what you guys think about them too, because I've discussed them over the last couple of days. Obviously, like I said, Partey is massive. Partey would have been my number one target, and in a sense, that signing is a dream come true. But the transfer window wasn't a dream, and the transfer window lacked a lot of productivity, to be honest, in and out. And we still need a creative player somewhere behind Laka and Ketja, and in between, like, the midfield and attack. And obviously Owar was the plan A, you know, and it looks like Thomas Partey was the plan B, whereas in my opinion, they should have both been the plan A. You know, they should have both been the plan A, and there should have been a plan B for both, because at the end of the day, they both bring a completely different set of qualities, completely different positions. And now it's just a domestic window. I'm looking at Ben Rama. I'm looking at Buendia. Yes, Buendia is definitely more experienced. We know more about him, I'd say, and he's played in the league, so you know he can cut it at this level. Can he take the step up in this league at a team like Arsenal? Who knows? But with Ben Rama, I feel like that's more my type of player that I'd like to bring in. Obviously, it's a bigger risk, but at the same time, we need something in there. And bringing him in, you can potentially have someone cutting in from the left. It might give you the option to bring Ober into the centre, like we did when we brought Pepe on, was it, against Sheffield United? You know, that's something I want to see more of. Obviously, it's some of the business we've done in the summer, then I'd be more confident than that. That's what Arteta wants to do in terms of playing Ober a bit more up front during games, not starting games, but moving him during games as the sole striker. But with Lacazette and Nketiah getting put on rotation, I'm not sure that's going to happen much this season, but we'll see. You know, we will see. Footy chat says, Turkish, hope you're good, bro. Yeah, I'm all good, man. Can't complain. Make sure you guys add me on Instagram, add me on Twitter, Turkish LDN, and download the One Football app. There is a link in the description box below. Frank, hi Turkish, just subscribe to your channel. What's your thoughts about our backup goalkeeper situation? Do you think they are good enough to step in for Leno? In all honesty, I don't know if Runarsson is good enough. It's hard to tell, but it's always hard to tell whether a backup is good enough. I think just coming off, you know, using your backup for so long, which we have done, and him performing at a higher level, that's the only reason the debate has been formed. In general, you want your first team keeper, you want number one keeper to be fit and healthy for the majority of games. And barring unlucky situations, the goalkeepers don't tend to be injured as much as players, but barring difficult situations, I think goalkeepers should be playing the majority of games in the season anyway. So a decision was made because of a lack of funds with Emi Martinez. I get that. I get we are upset that he went, but at the same time, it is what it is. Arteta needed funds. I assume that if he didn't sell Martinez, we couldn't have got Partey in the end, because I thought all of that business was to get both. And by all of that business, I mean, you know, the last few people going out in the last day, and then and with the business before with Martinez. In essence, it looks like that business was done to get Partey. And you look back at ownership and you feel like, have they done enough? You feel like, do they care? I know they've gassed us with the signing, and rightfully so, because it is a top player, but that gas can be let out real quick, real quick on the pitch. And we've got Man City away next. It'd be interesting to see if Partey starts that game. What do you guys think? Do you think Partey should be starting against Man City away? Ross says bring in Max Aarons. That's another player we could potentially bring in, but because we didn't do the business in the market in terms of Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, Cedric, deciding which one we want to keep and then bring in one, in reality, it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen. Anthony says, big up Turkish, what you saying? All good, bro. All good. Yes, 100%. Yeah, it probably will happen, but we also know that if that result doesn't go our way, or by our way, I even mean like a loss like we took against Liverpool is what it is for me. Although Man City ain't a Liverpool, at the same time, Man City are definitely better than us, and as long as we can give them a game, it is away. Not that away matters as much anymore, considering there's no fans. But it's going to be a very difficult game, and as long as we perform to a good level and compete, and we're in there, and we actually try and get some goals, because Man City have been exposed already. The thing about Liverpool got exposed after they played us. It might have been different if we played Liverpool after that Villa smashing, because it could, morale, mentality, not only of the Liverpool squad, but other teams going into Liverpool games now will be a bit different. A team like Villa doesn't just bang you 7-2 and you don't learn from that. No, I don't do YouTube full time. No, I don't. I'm a working man. Well, I guess there's people call this work too, but no, I've got my 9 to 5, as they say. It's not quite a 9 to 5 in terms of hours, but it is a job. Pays the bills, bread and butter, whereas this is more a hobby and this is more for the people and whatnot. But South London's finest, nice to see you here, bro. Reading up about Partey, he's physical and strong, but not a powerhouse. He has great technical ability. Yeah, I was going to get into that anyway. Was it Sky Sports? No, it wasn't Sky Sports. It was Arsenal.com. They talked about his defensive attributes, and they said Partey is very accomplished when it comes to winning the ball back for his team. His blend of intelligence, physicality, and ability to read the game make him a nuisance for any opposition player trying to get past him. Like I said, I know what Partey is about, and you know what? They do sum him up well here. His defensive positioning is a clear strength, cutting out passing lanes and opposition passes between the lines, something Arsenal are in need of, and that's bang on. We are definitely in need of that. Wait, is this Arsenal.com? This is Arsenal.com, yeah? Something Arsenal are desperately in need of. So you, man, are just admitting that we've needed this sort of a player for time. You know what? Sorry, I just clocked that. This is actually Arsenal.com saying something Arsenal are in need of. It's mad. 28 interceptions for Atletico last year, only 7 managed more in La Liga in general. Very strong, tackling 7th in last season Champions League, 3.6 per game. He's tall, he's physical, he wins defensive duels, air, ground, never say die attitude, tactical. With Simeone there, Simeone is a man that you need to be on point on and off the pitch. He's a man that demands a lot, and his style of play demands a lot out of the players too. And Partey over recent seasons has been integral to that. We hear rumors that Simeone's vexed with the way it happened, and he's not happy at all. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to flex when you can and how you can. At 45 million, I wouldn't really call it flexing, but in this sense, we probably did, consider we just done it backdoor in essence, with just paying it to La Liga or paying it directly to him to pay La Liga and get the deal done without authority or without even knowledge. And again, Arsenal.com, it's a good article. They talk about his ability on the ball. They give little diagrams. It's not just defensive attributes. His large frame, he's incredibly graceful when it comes to carrying the ball. And yes, he can break the lines, not only through passing, but running too. He is good on the ball. You don't expect that too much from him, in my opinion. I think Arteta will utilize him more to release a Ceballos a bit more to do that. But if you look at, for example, look, over 180 games for Atletico, I think he's got about 15 goals, 20 assists, something like that. So obviously that's not his main thing at Atletico. And in general, Atletico are not the, free-flowing attacking side people. Well, not people would associate them with, but people know what they're about anyway. Whereas if you look at, let's say, his Ghana statistics, and I think he's played roughly 20. I got it down somewhere here. Where is it? Where is it? 27 appearances for Ghana, 10 goals. So you look at that, and it's a bit more like, okay, because he's asked to do more for Ghana. You know, he's one of their main players in general, not only name but quality too. You know, so that shows that he can do it. Obviously, that's another level, but at the same time, it shows that he's got a vast variety of attributes that we lack in the middle that can be utilized in different ways. And it'll be interesting how when next summer, when all these contracts come to an end, and then we have a bit more money to fucking spend, let's hope for once, you know. Although the profit and loss figures that's going to come out in the next few months is going to, it's going to be interesting to say the least. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. Let's go back to this article from Arsenal.com. Frequently glides with the ball, progressing up the pitch with purpose, which will help Arsenal in transition. And I've banged on about transition for years now. The transition in the middle has been so poor that we've eventually gone to a back three, back five because of the wing backs transitioning the ball a lot better and a lot more fluid than it has been. That is pretty much the only reason Arteta is doing what he's doing. Yes, it does change shape as we move forward, but essentially we move forward more through the wing backs now than anything. His 1.6 successful dribbles per game was bettered by only 28 La Liga players, and that's La Liga players in general, from strikers to wingers to attacking mids. And you consider he's deployed as a holding midfielder for Atletico, and just to sit in front of the defense. You think about those stats, and it's quite impressive. I can't lie. Consistently exhibits immense acumen in the build-up phase. He can receive the ball under pressure, distribute it. Yeah, because he's got strength, he's got nous, he can turn on both sides. Like I said, I can't wait to see him. I said it at the beginning of the video, but I can't wait to see him in action. It says the 27-year-old calls for the ball to feet often. And that's what it's about with Arteta. You already know that 62 passes per game. And considering Diego Simeone's football and whatnot, that is quite high. I do expect it to pick up not only interceptions and not only all these good stats, but the Premier League is a lot more end-to-end, and Arsenal Football Club are not back yet. So we're going to be under a lot of pressure in a lot of games. This doesn't solve our creativity issue. So when teams set up with 10 men behind, like West Ham, like Sheffield United, there's going to be times when, you know, like we're going to be under pressure. Teams are going to cause us problems because we're going to have to take the initiative and come out and attack and whatnot. Our fan says, I will play Saka at centre attacking mid in the cam position. And in my opinion, that's what I said too. I said, if we're going to a 4-3-3, it'll be Ceballos and Partey for me. It'd be Saka in front of them. It'd be Oba on the, well, if I'm going ideal, then it'll be Oba up top. But that's a whole other story, because then you can potentially play Willian there or bring Ben Rama in, like I said, and then you got Pepe on the right. So for me, Saka exhibits all the attributes needed to be a very good attacking mid to cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams just behind and just between the midfield and attack, because he's very direct, but he's also very smart on the ball. He protects it well. He can go on both feet. He's got an eye for a pass, as we've seen recently. Look at the two key passes against West Ham, where he played in Oba to get the first goal, and he played in Ceballos to get the second goal. And that broke down West Ham. You know, that's where the goal came from in a difficult game. Also in the Community Shield, you see some of where he picked it up and caused problems. It was in and around the box. So for me, Saka, last season I said left wing. You know, obviously he's still very young, and I didn't see him in attacking mid, but now I can see him equally, if not more so, in attacking mid. Attacking mid, left wing, I'd like to see him progress in either position. You know, depending on what we do, if we do anything in the next 10 days, which is highly unlikely. You know, if there was a game in between and we played that game and Partey played and it was against a team we should be beating, but we still saw the creativity issues, then potentially we'd be pushed to do a Ben Rama or a Buendia. But there's no game in between now and the domestic window ending. So there's no real chance for us to see if we're still going to lack that, or whether Partey's attributes will help unlock not only himself, but others as well. We will see. We will see. Creativity can come in January. It can come in January. It won't come in January because we don't. I know we got Oba in January, but our hands were tied. You know, our hands were tied. We got Arshavin in January too. But with Oba, our hands were tied. At the end of the day, we just lost Sanchez, and we had to do something with Ozil's one running that too. And I wouldn't expect much movement in January, if anything at all. If you especially look at the last 2 years in January, what have we done? Dennis Suarez loaned 2 Januaries ago. Last January, we got in an injured Cedric that didn't play a game. And Mari on loan, which wasn't a bad signing, but it wasn't exactly groundbreaking. Callum Grant says, Turkish, what do you make of the Buendia links? I'd love it to happen, but don't think it will due to the homegrown numbers issue. Surely Ozil was dropped from the squad. I didn't even know there's Buendia links. I don't look at links. You guys know me already. I don't really pay attention to these transfer rumors and in the nose and all this shit. For me, if there is links with Buendia, I'm happy. But at the same time, like you said, I think we've got space for 17 homegrown players, and we've got 17 foreign players, I guess you'd call them. And we've got 19. Who would I pick out of that? You'd have to pick Ozil as one, because at the end of the day, he hasn't played a minute of football since March, February. You'd have to put Ozil. If you decide to play him in the Europa League or whatever else, register him for that. But for the league, if you're picking, and I'm looking, obviously a defender too. Or do you pick 2 defenders? I'd say, I don't know, man. I don't know. Ozil should be dropped from the squad. I think, like I said in Curtis's stream about an hour and a bit ago, if I'm Arteta, I feel like Ozil's challenged me. If I'm Arteta, I feel like he's come out and he's with that tweet where he said, I'm fit and I'm ready, but it's not me that selects the team. I feel like I would personally take that as an attack. I'd personally be like, yeah, it's not you who selects the team, yeah? All right, well, it's me that selects the team, and you're not going to get selected again. Don't ever try to put me on blast, on the sly as well. Don't ever try to do that. That's how I would react, I'm being honest. Arteta, it seems like he's reacted in that way, but in his manner, obviously we haven't got the same character, so it is what it is. But I feel like he's been like, okay, like, do you think that pressure is going to do anything for you? Like, it's not doing nothing, because he hasn't played a minute since Carabao or league. Well, not that it's going to be a league, but at the end of the day, I feel like his time is done, and I feel like he's going to earn his money for nothing anyway. Even if we play him for 10 games this season, he ain't going to do nothing, so he's earning his money for nothing. So you keep it moving. I think if we're selecting 2, I'd pick Mustafi and Ozil if I'm not putting people in the squad, or Socrates, maybe one of them. But you could do Socrates, Mustafi, and Ozil, and bring in Buendia or Benrahma. In reality, that homegrown issue isn't as bad as it looks, considering we don't want a lot of these players. I'm sure we could pick a few more that we'd leave off the list. But it looks so tight with Partey, and you heard different reports that we had to try to do the wage thing. We had to try to balance it all out. So for me, we ain't seeing no more movement in unless we see movement out. And that's the reality of it. I do hope to see a couple more players leave, but at the same time, being domestic, I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, it'll be loans for the players that are on the fringes at the very best. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll see how it goes. ET said, Turkish, do you think Arteta will change up the formation now that we have Partey? I don't. A lot of people do. I don't think he will yet. I think just bringing in Partey doesn't solve the issues, like I said. So switching formation off the back of just that signing would be a massive risk. At the same time, I do want to see his long-term vision. I do want to see it in action sooner rather than later. But I also understand that we didn't do the business we went to do this summer. Yes, Partey is good, and Partey is great. Let me correct myself there, but he's not great enough to change everything at the club. So I'm expecting to see the same formation at the very least. It is very fluid and changes a lot in games. So who knows? At times we start with the back 3, back 5, and 2 minutes in we're at a back 4. So I'm not too fussed on that right now. I can just see he's trying to do his thing as best as he can, which is all he can do right now. South London's fan says, come guys, at least 200 likes, get up. There's over 750 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button, people. I'd appreciate that. Add me on Instagram and Twitter, Turkish LDN. Keep on commenting, getting your questions in. I'll try and answer as many as possible. Let's see what's going on. Hoodie Source, Elite Clothing on Instagram. If you search Elite Clothing, you'll see their jumpers, t-shirts, and all of that, man. Like Turkish, come on. Love to everyone in the live. Another one, like I said, Elite Clothing on Instagram. Message them, DM them, tell them you saw it on this video. And and yeah, he'll sort you out. Ozil isn't in our future plans, counting the days when he leaves. We need a countdown in the background. If you want a countdown, go to Lee Gunner's Instagram, because he's doing a countdown there. He might be doing a countdown on Twitter too. I've seen it on Instagram anyway, but this year I've seen it go from 300 and something to 200 and something now, and it's going. I can't lie, slowly but surely it's going. But I'm excited for next summer. I'm actually excited for next summer, because one way or another, one way or another, with all these contracts done, let's see if we move like a big club, like the club we're meant to be moving like. Let us see. I was reading the article from Arsenal, and they're saying he doesn't just pass for the sake of it either, which is exactly what I was talking about in terms of his qualities, breaking the lines. He's completed 71 progressive passes and 65 passes into the final third in the Champions League last season, 7th and 6th respectively. And that's the whole Champions League. So you think about that, and very good numbers, Partey is a manager's dream, given his ability to perform as a holding or a box-to-box. This is exactly what I said. Tactical flexibility that Arteta needs, and he's got it in abundance. He can start in a pivot with Xhaka and Ceballos. He can be the man himself. Yeah, obviously we forget about that sort of football too, when you just have one man and two in front instead, because at times, the defensive frailties have led us to want to shore up the back line so much that we forget about what can be potentially one day, and he can do it all. It says it here as well. He talks about the Arsenal.com talk about the pivot. It talks about Xhaka or Ceballos, insinuating that it'll be one of them he plays with. He's got the ball playing attributes, intelligence, roaming destroyer. Listen, only 15 La Liga players made more passes under pressure last season than Partey, 298. His composure under the press means he'll fit into Arteta's philosophy, and that's integral. Earlier when Arteta come in, I don't know if you lot remember, but it was there was rumors or things that leaked that said that it wasn't even rumors. Someone said it, that Arteta wants us to hold on to the ball to the very last minute, to the defenders just about to come in, so you can work around them a lot better and a lot more fluid. And someone that can hold the ball in the press, someone that can be composed under pressure is essential. And we lack that in abundance, especially in the middle. Ceballos very good at it, but aside from him, nobody else in the midfield is composed enough to really wait until the last minute confidently. Let's be honest, we've seen all other centre midfielders giving the ball away in whatless positions. So Thomas Partey, come do your thing, bro. Come do your thing and do your thing, and teach the rest of the man around you in the middle, because obviously people like Xhaka at 28 years old, he's probably not going to learn. Ceballos, he's still young. They're not the same ilk, but at the same time, there's a lot of character traits and mentality that Ceballos and Willock and players in general can take from Partey. I'm not only excited about his quality, I'm excited about the presence he brings, and the quality in the dressing room, and the leadership. Vice captain of Ghana, a mainstay in the Diego Simeone Atletico side that's performed at a very high level over the last 5 years. So for me, that is as big as anything for Arsenal Football Club, because I've banged on about it before, and I've banged on about mentality and character being questioned, not only from me, not only from other fans, but from players too. From when Troy Deeney can say that, from when other players have insinuated, like even what Mope said some shit last season during the game, where you think like, these players know, that certain individuals can crack under pressure, you can get under their skin, and all this stuff plays a part in terms of, mental warfare as much as the quality on the pitch. Obviously mental warfare was a lot more prominent, I think, back in the day, when it was the Keanes versus Vieiras and the Adamses and the, in my opinion, the good old days, especially for Arsenal fans. But mental warfare is not as used as much anymore, but it is an essential part. It is a big part, At the same time, it's used very differently now. It's not as aggressive as those days. It's a lot different now, and it is what it is. Who's this? Why did I say his former teammate? Oh, yeah. He's unbelievable. Kieran Trippier said he's unbelievable. His physicality, how he breaks up play. Technically, he's got everything. He ranks as one of the best midfielders I've played with. Who the hell has Trippier played with for him to say that? He speaks perfect English. I don't think he'd have a problem with the Premier League. You don't think? well, I know he's not going to have a problem. Trust me. He's built for it, not only quality wise, mentality wise, and the area he's coming to, strong Ghanaian presence in North London. And he'll love it here, you know. He'll love it here as much as Ozil loves it here because there's a strong Turkish presence, strong Ghanaian presence. And for Xhaka, there's a strong Albanian presence. North London is very diverse. So a lot of these players feel very comfortable, you know. There's a lot of their people around, there's a lot of the culture around, there's a lot of the food around, you know. It's essentially home away from home for a lot of different cultures. So I think it's set up perfectly for Partey to succeed in terms of himself. We are not set up perfectly to succeed as Arsenal Football Club. I'm going to be honest about that. We are not. We are far from it. But we are on some sort of a route back. And at the moment, it's snail-like pace. And I look at next summer and I think, what can I do but look at next summer considering the window's over? And I think all those contracts ending, yeah, proactive transfer window, follow that up, and we move, you know, we actually move. Because in reality, let's see how this Partey thing works out. Let's not forget that when fans come back into stadiums, it's going to change things too. Like over the past few weeks, I've been thinking all of this, you know, like I said about the Messi table, Premier League table, all of this stuff, it could be due to no fans, you know, and fans coming back could have an impact not only on us but other teams too. So it'll be interesting to see not only this season but next season when hopefully fans start coming back, how we'll actually really move on. What position do you think we are lacking? We're still lacking in the centre. Don't get it twisted. We've got Partey in, and we're probably still lacking most in the centre than anything, even with Partey coming in. I'd say we need creativity in the middle. I'd say we need to assess right back in the not so distant future. We need another centre back in, that's for sure. And I expect it all to be done next summer because of all those contracts ending, massive ones at that, you know, Ozil 350, Luiz 100, Socrates 100, Mustafi 100. Is Kolasinac still at this club? Kolasinac is still here, isn't it? Yeah, he's still here. Fucking hell. Kolasinac 120. That's what? 650, 770, nearly 800k a week we're losing off the books. And that's just those names I mentioned. There might be more. There might be more contracts ending. But imagine that much is coming off the book. So I think centre back, 100%, a bit of experience. Central midfield creativity, attacking midfield creativity, and that could be along the three because at the same time I see Saka along there too. So, and I see Oba up top. So that's how I want to start seeing it shape. So either you play Saka left wing and you bring in an AM, or you bring in for now it can only be a Ben Rama left wing or a player like that next summer at the level we want on the left wing. Let Saka be attacking mid. But we still need a lot. And that's not even me touching on the depth. That's not even me touching on the bench, because I'm not saying all of these players that are in the first team now and get replaced are good enough for the bench either, because they're not. You know, they're really not, and they're getting on a bit too, some of them. I'll start about Gonosaurus. Man heard the rumour Ty is going to be the new Gonosaurus. There is no Gonosaurus. What did Merson say about Gonosaurus is on 80k a week? That can't be true. That can't be true. Don't tell me that, because if I find out that's true, if I find out Gonosaurus is on 80k a week, yeah, forget Ozil for a sec. Well, he was on 80k a week. Forget Ozil for a sec, because I've been onto the wrong guy. It's all mad. That is what it is. We'll see. Someone said Ozil funding Gonosaurus. I doubt it. But what's this? He wouldn't do it at 80k a week, that's for sure. So I think Merson he had a couple to drink that day. Probably 80k a month, and even that's a bit much. But yeah, Ozil's got to do things like that to keep him with the fans. You know, everyone's going to be like, oh, you can't talk about that. Next time I get onto Ozil about something, which I hope is never, because I hope that is the end of it. You'll hear people saying, oh, but he paid for Gonosaurus. How can you talk about him like that? Like, you're a dickhead. Only a cunt can talk about him like that. Did you see what he done for Gunnosaurus? Like, please. Like Doc Marshall said, I refuse to believe. Gunnosaurus is a legend, though. From when I was a kid, I can't lie. Like, I can't lie. As a child, especially, it's massive. You know, it's massive. So I'll give credit to Ozil for doing that, because for kids, 100%. You know, um, when I have kids, I wanted them to be, you know, that have that feeling too. So as much as, you know, people are laughing and joking about it, I doubt he's on 80K a week, and it is sad considering the longevity of the man, even inside the costume. So it is what it is. Look up Ozil Twitter. It's peak. It's peak for what? I don't get it. What, people commenting underneath it because of the Gunnosaurus thing, or um, definitely. That's why I can say. You see me, I don't have no agendas against anyone for no particular reason. Ozil's comments and stance on the Muslim issue in China. What a man for that. You know, this Gunnosaurus thing where he's paying whatever he's offering. Credit to him. I can see why. Obviously, at the same time, it worked in favor for him too. But like I said, I like Gunnosaurus and the memories that it brings. Obviously, I'm at an age now where I don't really care anymore at the games. But for my kids, I would have liked Gunnosaurus to be around. So hopefully it can be sorted. But like, man can stick up for him. The issue with Germany, you know, the Turkish thing, the whole racism issue, and I back him on that. You know, I feel like he was treated differently, looked at differently. You know, especially post comments. Um, Even Mertesacker came out and said some bullshit those times, and man, don't forget those things. You know, but at the same time, if we're talking about football, see you later, bro. 100 respect on the aspect with Gunnosaurus, looking on it for children. Yeah, man. Trust me. Like, I hope to have kids real soon, and look on Ozil's Twitter now. He is holding the club like a gunman. Let me see what's going on. Over 950 people in here, people. Let me see what Ozil's saying on his Twitter. But hit the like button while you guys wait, and we'll continue talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, because I think I've pretty much discussed Partey and how happy I am with the signing and what he brings. I was so sad that Jerry, aka our famous and loyal mascot Gunnosaurus, an integral part of our club, was being made redundant after 27 years. As such, I'm offering to reimburse Arsenal with full salary of our big green guy, as long as I'll be an Arsenal player. The way he worded that is a bit mad. Like, obviously, credit to him, because, like I said, Gunnosaurus is massive, and hopefully, if they can reach an agreement for the next year, yeah, that works out, because then the club can reevaluate the situation and potentially renegotiate and renew the contract on further, looking at things next year financially. You know, all them contracts coming off. You know, at the end of the day, he can finance it for a year, but when his 350K comes off the books, we can actually give some of that to Gunnosaurus, or however much he is on, because it can't be that much. That Merson said anyway. He just started some bollocks rumors, but the way he worded it at the end with "as long as I am at Arsenal Football Club," it's like, are you trying to tell fans to put more pressure on about a new contract and this and that? Do you remember the AFTV debate between DT and the governor? I don't, you know. I don't. I can't lie that I haven't watched much of AFTV. Like, even my own interviews, I do it and leave it. Supporters Club. Early on, I used to watch it because it was my first taste, or my first kind of presenting show on a major channel, and I'd like to see how it went. But aside from that, I don't watch it much. Like Lee Judge's his interviews, I watched before mine. Like I said, I don't even watch mine, but I watch Lee Judge's interviews every week. That's a definite. But aside from that, because think about it, guys, I talk about Arsenal with you guys, what, once every 2 days, recently every day. I talk about football with friends every day, like whenever I see them. You talk about football at work. It's football at the end of the day. Like, I can't keep up with everything, and I've also got my life to live outside of YouTube, and not only doing videos but watching videos and keeping up with all of it. Like, you know, at the same time, it's nice to, you know, take a step back and remember what's real and what's not. How long are we in? 40 minutes in. What's the time now? 3:40. I'll give it another 5 minutes and we'll see what's going on. Turkish, the club said once the fans is back, he will be back. Once the fans is back, he will. Who's he? I don't know who he is, but let me know who he is. Who's spamming, Daniel? Sort it out, please. Just let. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking. That's what he meant. But then he reiterated it again. Like, you know, when he said it once, I was thinking to myself, this guy, I don't know what he's talking about. But then he said it again, and I started thinking, nah. Like, would Arsenal really do that? What's the like? Some people get it up to 500. There's nearly 1,000 people in the live already. I'm gonna log it off soon. I'll take some last few questions and whatnot. Is there anything else on Thomas Partey? No, there is not. Let's see what the comments are saying. Any more questions, people? How would you line up the midfield with Partey now here? The way I'd line it up, Ceballos and Partey together in a 2 if he's playing the same formation. Ceballos, Partey, and Saka attacking mid if we're playing a 3. Take me back says, Turkish, could you get Mo on your show? I rate him. And that's a good shout, you know. I ain't talked to Mo in a little while. I'll actually message him after the show and see how he is and see if he wants to do a video. You know, we've both been called accountant over the years. You know, so it is what it is, man. We'll see if we can do a little video. What's this one? Big up Turkish, always keeping it 100. Smash the like button from Rochelle Scott. Come on, appreciate that, Rochelle. It's party time. Come on, it is party time until we play Man City away. Let me know if it's party time after Man City away. That's when I want to know if it's party time. If we win, yeah, then man, we'll start looking at things a bit differently. But let's wait. If we get Buendia and Campbell, will you be satisfied? And Buendia and Campbell, obviously the homegrown thing doesn't apply. So listen, I wouldn't mind, but as long as it doesn't stifle anything moving forward. Like I said, I'm concerned that it looked like we had to scramble and save change to get Partey in the end. Even look at Martinez deal, for example, that was done a couple of weeks ago, and we still couldn't get things over the line. So it's like we were working from a minus to fucking make money and get either Aouar or Partey over the line. So if Buendia and Campbell can come in the next 10 days or you know, and add something, I'd say more Buendia than anything. Campbell, I think, good player, supports Arsenal. He will add something. In my opinion, he's better than Joe Willock, but not the top of my list and not someone that I want. Like Chris said, it'll be Buendia and Benrahma or one of them at the very least if I'm going to take someone from the other clubs around. Alex said, big up Turkish, the realist, appreciate that. As always, people, come on, I like to give you what you lot want to hear. All you, man, hit the like button, as always. We want Saliba. I don't want Saliba. I actually agree with Arteta in terms of he needs to remain out of the firing line for now. I've always said it. A 19-year-old centre-back coming in to the Premier League in the condition Arsenal have been in over the years. Too much pressure, too much limelight. You know, keep him off that bit. Keep him off that bit. Who you signing in Jan? Well, we're going to have to analyse the situation. Like I said, it's highly unlikely we get a Benrahma or Buendia in the next 10 days. If we had played in 4 days and we could see that the creativity issues remain, then we might have. But because we're not playing, it is what it is. We're going to find out during the first part of the season. And in January, at the moment, it looks like we're going to need creativity. The level of creativity I want, probably we can't attain from Europe or that level of player in January. If people think we can get a one in January, if we couldn't do it in the summer, it's highly unlikely in January. So I don't know. At the moment, I'd definitely say creative player, attacking mids, maybe a left winger to free up Obra down the middle a bit. But aside from that, you know, it's hard to predict January for me because in January, I don't really like the window myself, let alone Arsenal Football Club. Come on, smash the like, people. As always, I'm about to dip out nearly 45 minutes in. I think that is pretty much the question. What's this? We signed that defender from Hertha Berlin, Omar Rekik. Yeah. We did sign him, and we signed, what's his name? Dus Muller. I don't know what his name is, but some young Swedish striker. We signed some young centre back. Obviously, they're the ones for the future from Jamaica. Big up Turkish. I know we have the FA Cup, the Europa, and the Carabao, but I think Eddie Joe and probably Reece needs a full season on loan, playing frequently. I think Eddie has had his loan spells, and if it doesn't work out, which it might be the case, he needs to be sold next. I think you can only loan someone out to so much. Joe Willock, I think pretty much the same. He's had a couple seasons in and out the first team now, more so in recently than not. So again, I think the next step for him would be to be sold. And Reece the same, to be honest. I think Reece had a successful last loan spell, moving into 21 years of age now, 22 into the next couple of years. I think I think he's ready to play here, and I think he's ready to at least fight for the spot because he's still young. He can still break it, but at the same time, I don't feel like loans is the be all and end all, especially for people like that who have gone through that already. D1, I gave my thoughts on Ozil paying the mascot already. Like I said, I agree with him on that in terms of agree. I credit him. I mean, on that, it's a good move. I think. You can look at it two ways. Obviously, like I said, Gunnosaurus is a legend. Gunnosaurus is someone or this is something, whatever you want to look at it, that I remember fondly from my young years going to games and toys and this and that, you know. So I like very good memories that I want my children to have too. So I love the fact that I was offered that. At the same time, you could look at it the other way and say PR and say towards the end of that tweet, he did say something about as long as I'm at Arsenal, which is like we pretty much could guess that anyway. You know, you're not going to start paying it for the rest of your life. But I think that saying that, it's like maybe is that more pressure on the club to act or do something. I don't know. But it is for what it is. Gunnosaurus, legend, fond memories. It's good to keep him on. Like it's a shame what happened, you know, especially the guy inside the costume being 27 years deep or 30 years deep. I think that is something we need to look out for. What's the likes on now, people? Because I'm about to leave. Nearly 900 people in here. Hit the like button before you go. All the mods, love for doing your thing. As usual, yeah, it is a class act from Ozil. It is a class act. You know, at the same time, nothing. It's a class act. Fuck it. Let me finish the thing there. Like I said, I'm out, people. I'll probably be back. D1, sorry, I see another super chat there quickly. Fans on Twitter saying he's undermining the club. And like I said, that second part of it, I can understand. I did look. I've found out D1. I found out literally in the chat. So I opened it up. I haven't seen Twitter reaction, nothing. And when you asked me the question, I said you can look at it one way where it's a class act where he done his thing, or you can look at it another way where it's like some of the wording in that tweet is like undermining the club. It's like, you know, PR potentially. You know, I can see both. I can see both ways. So I understand. I understand why people would see that today. Daniel, yeah, the show with Rants is on today. Actually, he just messaged me. Let me see. He said to me, "Can you do 5:30 by any chance, or 5:45? 5:30 is calm, bro. Up to you." Yeah, so it's on today. It's going to be a bit earlier, people. He just messaged me now. So 5:30 or 5:45, I'll be on Rance's channel. And make sure you guys are there. But before we are out, what's the time? Lovely. Yeah, 5:30, people. So before we are out, hit the like button and look out for what's next. Big six. I have to record a big six. Big results over the weekend. Transfer window wrapped up. I'll do big six for you guys next. And also let me know in the comments when this gets processed what you guys want to see from me moving forward in the next couple of weeks, because there's no games. So what do you guys want me to talk about? Let me know. Look at that. I knew this. You know what? It was in my head. I was thinking, what's the next MMA? Khabib is coming soon. I should have done the Kamzat one earlier. I should have done Adesanya. It's coming soon. Trust me, it's coming real soon. But love.